The right to vote is foundational to our democracy. It is the voice of the people and the means by which we make our will to the government known. So is it any wonder that the majority of the amendments to the Constitution have pertained to expanding the right to vote? The 24th Amendment ensures that no one will have their right to vote deprived of them due to economic circumstances. So today we'll be talking about the history of this amendment and its modern implications. The history of the need for the 24th Amendment begins right after the Civil War with the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments. The 13th Amendment abolished slavery. The 14th gave all former slaves citizenship, and the 15th gave all races the right to vote. However, as you can imagine, after the passage of these amendments, many southern states weren't too enthusiastic about giving the right to vote to all these former slaves. So many southern states passed laws which would become to be known as Jim Crow laws. The main purpose of the Jim Crow laws was to deprive African Americans of their ability to vote by finding a loophole in the 14th Amendment, through imposing poll taxes and other tests to dissuade African Americans from voting. But finally, with the advent of the civil rights movement in the 1960s and the passage of the 24th Amendment, this obstacle to African American voting rights was done away with. According to the Library of Congress, before the 1960s, only 23% of eligible African American voters were actually registered to vote. By the year 1969, this number went up to 61%. In modern times, there are those who say that certain laws violate the 24th Amendment by imposing a pseudo-poll tax in the form of voter ID laws. However, this comparison is invalid. Voter ID laws are not designed to target a specific group of people to prevent them from voting. They are simply designed as a means to prevent voter fraud. The 24th Amendment states that no citizen shall be given a poll tax. And it helps to solidify the Founding Fathers' intent that it be the citizens of this nation who cast the vote. So if anything, voter ID laws don't detract from the 24th Amendment. Instead, they help to enforce it. The 24th Amendment makes it so that no one can be deprived of their right to vote based on their race or their economic status. It also solidifies the Founding Fathers' intent that it be the living citizens of this country who cast the vote, which is something we must be vigilant to protect even in our time.